Yo, it's time for more Shibuya Scramble. Let's get right into it. We got, as a reminder, let's see. We've got we got Achi kept out, Kano kept out, Minorikawa kept out. Osawa is bad-ended. And so the only thing we have left is Maria, formerly known as Tama. But let's go with Maria, shall we? So last time, this is where she got like abducted basically by Tanaka. And because Achi is no longer going to be running after her, she's not going to be in a rough situation. So let's see, there's Suggs. Yeah, so we're gonna continue to protect YANAGASHITA because he is best boy. Okay. Might be the safest where we are. Right, so they... Okay, we gotta see this scene again, or is anything gonna change? More amazing facial expressions from Nasubi is the actor's name, which is apparently Japanese for eggplant. I hope he's going to be, actually, I don't know if anybody knows this, but the creator of this game did a Kickstarter-ish thing earlier this year for a spiritual successor to 420 Shibuya Scramble, and it succeeded. And I know for a fact he has the actor for Kano and the actor for Minorikawa coming back. I don't know about YANAGASHITA yet. Gone. Yeah, so... Some nerd told me about it on Discord earlier. Yeah, some nerd who's too fixated on this game. Come on, it'll be fun. Okay. Okay, big smile. Oh, yeah, so they're taking the pictures because... I'm glad we get to see this again. Broke friends forever. I didn't notice it said that. To a different floor. Okay. That guy really ought to develop a proper work ethic. So now I think is where we're going to see the differential. All right. The third floor is packed with young girls. I spot a shirt that catches my eye and head to the fitting room to try it on. There I realize there's something in my pocket, something I must have been carrying around for a while. Oh, it's a photo. Photo of a white man. I wasn't expecting that. Hey, we know that guy. Who's this guy? He looks like a Chad. I can't quite tell if I recognize him or not. This man. Huh? Dangerous. Dangerous. I hear someone's voice inside my head. Stay away from him. Flashes of memory flicker in my mind. I see a girl standing before me. I can't quite recall her face, but I get the impression she's someone very important. She speaks to me. Hey, there's the freaking 90s tribal tattoo there. This man is dangerous. Stay away from him. We know who that is. That's all. Then I snap back to my senses. It feels like I was right on the cusp of remembering something critical. At any rate, it seems that there's some connection between me and the man in the photo. Try as I might, though, I can't recall anything more than that. He could stop a detective's punch with a mere 1% of his power, yeah. I try on the shirt I picked out. Yeah, that looks good. I decided to buy it and have the store toss out my torn sweater for me. She is now dressed like every woman I went to college with, basically. As I'm about to go down the escalator, a young man strides up to me as if I'm an old friend. Is this gonna break the Achi keep out? Let's see. It sure does. There we go. We'll get some Achi going on here. Achi took the escalator down to the 3rd floor, and there was Hitomi standing right in the open after he'd been searching for her high and low. Hey, that's the exact same scene. There you are. I thought we were going to meet on the 2nd floor, Achi said. She stared back at him in confusion. Well, anyway, come on, we have to go hide. Hide? Why? She gave him a dubious look. Achi felt like something was off, but now wasn't the time to dwell on it. Because those guys might have found us, he said. They're outside. He took hold of Hitomi's hand. Hey, let go. What gives? Oh, careful, Achi. This girl will own you. She quickly yanked her hand away. Huh? As Achi tried to make sense of the way she was acting, she took off down the corridor. Hey, Hitomi! He hurried off after her. It was like changing her clothes had also changed her personality. Still, he couldn't just leave her alone. The kidnappers might well be closing in. He stayed in pursuit of her, trying not to draw too much attention. He headed in the direction Hitomi had gone and came to a stairwell. What the hell is going on? Had she gone up or down? Achi frowned in consternation. Hey, stop right there! He heard shouting coming from down below. Then came the sound of footsteps rushing up the stairs. Is it the Yakuza guys? Hitomi? Was someone chasing her? Achi bolted down the stairs before he could mull over it too much. Oh no! Down on it's Teru. Down on the landing, he ran into a man who was pale in the face. You gotta help me! The man went and cowered behind Achi. 2 thuggish-looking men came up the stairs after him. Hand him over, kid. Yeah, don't make us do nothing we'll both regret. 2 guys bullying some frail old man? Achi huffed. And you want me to just turn a blind eye while that goes down? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. The younger fellow, the one who looked like a small-time gangster, sneered. Oh, you're gonna want to turn a blind eye to this, little man. This is gonna get bloody. By the way, Achi asked, either of you see a girl around here? Super cute, about ye- The gangster suddenly threw a jab with his right fist and Achi dodged on reflex. The punch wound up catching the man, hiding behind him, right in the face instead. Womp womp. Oh, whoops. Achi realized his mistake a moment too late. The man splayed out onto the floor. Whoa, my bad, Gramps. You okay? Achi hunkered down and slapped the man in the face. I don't think he's okay. That comically, I mean, they might as well have just put like birds flying around his head at this point. It's crazy. Oh my goodness. Hey, come on, stay with me. It's no use. I'm done for. Please, look after Hana. Mino Rikawa. The man's muttering was all but incomprehensible. Hey, Achi said, this guy seriously needs to get to a hospital or he's in big trouble. You guys, go call an ambulance. He needs... When Achi looked back, the man in the sunglasses was standing over him, holding up a fire extinguisher. Oh no, this is the bad end music. Why wait for an ambulance when the fire department's already here? The butt of the fire extinguisher came right down onto Achi's face. Oof! But I didn't call for the fire department. Bad end. I didn't call. We didn't start the fire. Oh my goodness. While chasing after Hitomi, Achi had a run-in with some Yakuza and got beaten up. But actually, the girl Achi was following wasn't Hitomi. In order for Achi to avoid this disastrous fate, that girl needs to run off in a different direction. Okay, so it's a choice we make with Maria later. Got it. Got it. All right. So Achi got bad-ended. Minorikawa's kept out. Kano's kept out. What's... Oh, yeah. I think we can do Osawa to jump. Let's see. Let's see. His voice. Right. This is, some detective. We'll jump to Kano. And, yep, that did it. Cool. So we have to have Kano say something different. Yeah, he asked if he gave Hitomi the antiviral. Yeah, what are you talking about? I'm the one asking the questions here, Mr. Osawa. Did you give the antiviral drug to your daughter Hitomi? I'm not sure I understand the question. Osawa's voice trembled as he spoke. Kano was sure he'd hit the nail right on the head. I know what this syndicate is really after, Mr. Osawa. It's the virus, it's you. We do not want to say it's the virus. It's Hitomi. It's Hitomi. We figured that out. It's Hitomi. Osawa remained silent. Mr. Osawa, is everything all right? The line went dead. Guess that answers that well enough, Kano said as he put away his phone. Did that. It did fix Osawa's bad end. Okay. Now it was clear why the criminals were after Hitomi. He saw an uneasy look on Stanley's face. Something on your mind? Kano asked. Stanley responded with a question of his own. If Hitomi was carrying the antiviral, how were the criminals planning on getting it from her? Kano thought for a moment. Well, taking her by force at the Scramble posed too high a risk, he said. There were nearly 100 detectives there, and they must have guessed there would be. That's why they devised the attaché case relay. They wanted to abduct Hitomi somewhere away from the Dragnet's notice. This was the plan that all the signs seemed to suggest. But still, he added, I wonder how they managed to lead her away from police protection. A look of revelation crossed Stanley's face. All they'd need to do was convince her to go of her own accord. But how? Kano asked. And then it came to him. He thought back to Hitomi's initial contact with Tariq al-Karawan. Just before he'd taken the attaché case from her, the two had a brief conversation. It was possible al-Karawan had given Hitomi some form of instructions then. Guess we're back to tracking down al-Karawan again, huh? Kano could tell from the look in Stanley's eyes that he was on the verge of saying something. Probably some remark about how Tatano had allowed al-Karawan to run free. Right now, Kano wasn't going to argue the point. After this case was resolved, he'd discovered what Tatano's motives really were. And once he did, Stanley would eat his words. In the meantime, we can't just wander around without any leads, he said. Until we get more intel, let's see what we can do with the security cameras back at the precinct. Numerous monitors shone down on the pair as they entered the Shibuya precinct's surveillance room. Each showed an array of faces of individuals somewhere in Shibuya. Kano asked one of the operators to pull up al-Karawan's data on screen. That's a fine sweater he's wearing there. By selecting each of the faces on the monitors in turn, they could run comparisons to determine if anyone among them was al-Karawan. One by one, the operator made his way through the faces. Assuming their target was still in Shibuya, there was a high likelihood that they'd find him. But the minutes ticked past, and there was still no sign of him. Kano's tone grew more and more impatient as he directed the operator's search. Notice it's minutes and not hours. This might not necessarily lead to a bad end. We'll see. Just calm down, Stanley said. He set a hand on Kano's shoulder. You keep wasting your energy when you don't need to. That's just how I do things, Kano replied. I'm energetic because I care. He pointed out another face to the operator. Well, you're setting yourself up for a short life. With a sigh, Stanley sank into a nearby chair. My brother was like you. The American spoke so quietly that his words were barely audible. 10 minutes... Oh, I thought we were going to get some Stanley backstory or something. 10 minutes later, a man clad in black appeared on one of the monitors. The operator lined up his cursor. The comparison check confirmed that it was Al-Karawan. Yes! Kano hissed, pumping his fist. It appeared that their quarry was simply walking around town, calm and composed. Kano radioed in Al-Karawan's location to Kuze. All units intercept the suspect on the double, Kuze ordered. Kano will provide guidance using the surveillance monitors. They saw Al-Karawan stop in front of a cigarette vending machine. Was he waiting for someone? Sasayama reporting. I got eyes on the mutt. Mutt. Perpetrator. Hook. To put someone in cuffs. Dipper. Pickpocket. Once. Outstanding warrants. Hang paper. To write multiple citations. And other such traditional police jargon. Hey, there we go. That's not got the 428 logo, so that's real. It's real. Kano's partner had evidently been nearby. I'm making the arrest, he said. There was a note of courage in Sasayama's voice. He came into view on the monitor, walking casually. At some point, he ditched his anime nerd costume for a street dancer's getup. I love it. It didn't appear that Al-Karawan had noticed him yet. Bit by bit, Sasayama closed the distance. Not much further now. Kano's hand balled into a fist as he watched. And then, something unexpected happened. Another man came running into view, right in the middle of the monitor. Teru Toyama, while searching for Hana at Shibuya Gigo, he was located by a duo of debt collectors and fled the scene. Hana left Gigo to find him and ran into him there in Maru Yamacho. The pair are heading toward Koendori, trying to find a place to hide. There was no sound, but they could see that the newcomer was shouting something. As Al-Karawan turned to look at the man, Sasayama launched himself like a bullet from a gun. In an instant, Detective and Perper were locked in a violent scuffle right there on the street. Kano swallowed a lump in his throat as he watched the struggle unfold. Earlier in the day, Al-Karawan had done a number on Sasayama, but this time, the detective had the upper hand. He got a grip on Al-Karawan's neck and kneed him repeatedly. Al-Karawan tried desperately to bring Sasayama to the ground, but Sasayama braced himself and avoided the takedown. Then he shifted his stance and took Al-Karawan to the pavement with a spectacular hip throw. Yes! Kano clapped his hands together in excitement. Catching the perp in a scarf hold, Sasayama got out his handcuffs. Scarf hold, a technique in judo, involves wrapping an arm around the opponent's neck while performing an upper body pin. Stanley, we should head to the scene, Kano said. He looked away from the monitor for a mere moment. When he looked back, Sasayama had released his hold and crumbled to the ground. What? Panicked, Kano stared at the image of his friend. There was something jutting up from Sasayama's abdomen. Zoom in! Kano cried frantically. The camera closed in on Sasayama. Now Kano could see exactly what he'd feared. Sasayama had been stabbed in the gut. Blood pooled on the pavement around him. Kano screamed, Sasayama! The camera showed several other detectives arriving at the scene, capturing Al-Karawan before he could escape. But Sasayama lay motionless. The pool of blood around him spread further and further across the pavement. Unable to look away any longer, Kano rushed from the surveillance room. To be continued! Oh, this really happened! This wasn't a bad end. Sasayama has officially been stabbed. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go. Okay. Minorikawa is no longer kept out. Osawa is no longer kept out. Maria's good. Achi's at a bad end. Let's continue with Maria. Oof. Sasayama, man. We gotta be careful. We wanna rush into the next hour to see if he's okay. All right. There you are. I thought we were going to meet on the second floor. Going to meet? What's this guy talking about? I've never seen him before. Well, anyway, come on. We have to go hide. That's great. Hide? Why do we need to do that? Hide? Why? Because those guys might have found us. They're outside. He grabs my hand and I yank it away. Hey, come on, what gives? Is this some new pickup trick or something? That's like the second time she's wondered that. Whatever it is, it's way too aggressive. I get the heck out of there. Hey, hey! The guy keeps shouting, but I ignore him and try to slip away into the crowd. When I look back, though, I see that he's still following me. What do I do? Now maybe I should head to another floor. Maybe I should hide someplace where there are fewer people. How about hide where there are fewer people? Because I think heading to another floor is what causes his confusion. Maybe I should hide someplace where there are fewer people. I scurry for one of the far corners of the floor. Compared to the area around the stairs, the rest of this level is deserted. Oh, Achi is still bad-ended. Let's see. I head up onto the 4th floor. It looks like it's nighttime. Oh, now it's daytime again. When I get to the top of the stairs, I see a man talking on his phone. He looks a little furtive, like he's trying to avoid the public eye. Well, how to do their jobs. I can hear his conversation makes me pretty uneasy. I turn on my heel and get the heck out of there. Okay, we've avoided Tanaka, thankfully. When I arrive at the 4th floor restaurant section, the sign for a Chinese buffet catches my eye. Buffet, a style of dining where guests serve themselves freely from an array of prepared foods, taking as much of each as they want. Many hotels and restaurants tend to hold buffets at lunchtime or for brunch. Sometimes, however, this just winds up being a kind of cruel trap, with crowded lines making it take forever for you to even get near the food. That's oddly specific. I wonder if this is an encounter that's been had before by the author of this game. Imabiki Chinese restaurant. The name means something along the lines of fire of morning. I guess fire is important for cooking, but that's kind of an unsettling thing to call an eatery. Yeah, the fire of morning? Jeez. Oh well, I guess the name doesn't really matter. I'm in a mood to straight up devour some Chinese food. When I go to the enter, though, I'm stopped by one of the employees. Oh, I'm sorry, miss. I'm afraid we're not accepting any more, customers. I mean, we're not really open, not just now. She sounds a little bewildered by her own words. Why not? Well, you see, one of our other customers ate all of our food. Someone ate an entire restaurant out of food? Is that even possible? What I'm trying to say, miss, is that we're, closed. For the day. Oh, go figure. Looks like Mr. Yanagashita's bad luck has rubbed off on me. I guess I'll have to look for another restaurant to... Hold up. Who's that kid? Lying idly across the seats in the waiting area at the front of the restaurant is a young girl. Is this the girl that dismal-looking fellow has been searching for? She looks so sad, it makes my heart ache. I can't just leave her here alone. Excuse me, is your name Hana? She looks wary at the question. Your father's been looking for you, I say. Hana ignores me and just stares up at the ceiling. Hey, how about we try to find your dad together? I coax the girl into getting up, then I call out to the restaurant staffer. I love that they have her, like, doing all these horror poses. It's amazing. Excuse me, where should I go to ask them to put an announcement on the PA system? I don't know, maybe, the 1st floor? The security office? Right, down we go. I take Hana with me and we get on one of the elevators together. Do you know my father? Hana's tone is pretty brusque. Well, I don't really know him exactly. Then are you a debt collector? I laugh and shake my head. Would a debt collector be wearing an outfit like this? Hana lets out a deep sigh. So you're just kind of butting in then? Well, yeah, I guess so. I can't help but grin sheepishly. I feel like something about sad little Hana is stirring some of my lost memories. If I just came out and told her that, though, she'd probably think I was a total weirdo. So I decided to say something else. Guess I just get bored being all by myself. Guess I'm just the sort of person who can't ignore someone in trouble. How about B? Guess I'm just the sort of person who can't ignore someone in trouble. You're weird. Hana looks away from me. Oh, ouch. When I get to the security office, I hear voices coming from inside. I wonder what they're talking about. I peek in through the crack in the door and see a man with a cane speaking with a security guard. How many exits are there that lead outside? There's the main entrance on the first floor, along with 2 side entrances. Also, there's one down on the first basement level, and another in the second basement. The security guard spoke with polite precision. I see, says the man with the cane. I need you to shutter all the exits except for the main entrance right away. Understood, sir. Sir? Huh. Who is the man with the cane? Who has such authority? Attention all shoppers. The announcement comes in over the loudspeaker. Due to maintenance, all first floor entrances other than the main entrance have been closed. We apologize for the inconvenience. Customers wishing to leave, please use the main entrance on the first floor. You know what? That is a nasty looking speaker. Ugh. Somebody needs to clean that. I'm not sure what just happened, but it sounds like the main entrance is now the only way out. Come on, I say. Let's have them make an announcement for us. When I turn around, Hana's gone. She must have run off while I was distracted. Well, looky here if it ain't that little cutie again. The 2 thugs that were after YANAGASHITA came strolling toward me. Wow, you're a speedy one, huh? Says the bald man. Weren't you downstairs just now? And did you change your clothes, too? He looks me over, seeming impressed. Hey, hold on, let me see your face. The younger man grabs me by the wrist. That is a horribly, uncomfortably close picture. You know YANAGASHITA, yeah? Go on and give him a quick little call for us. He gives me a sharp yank. Let go of me! Can it, girlie? Just give the man a call and we're all good. I have nothing to do with that guy. Do it now! These guys aren't even listening to me. Now I'm pretty pissed off. I said, have nothing to do with that guy! I whip my man-handled arm in a wide arc and send the younger man flying into a stack of boxes. He got Chuck Norris'd. Guess he must not have been expecting that. He hits hard. The impact knocks him out cold. Whoa, who the heck are you? The bald man asks, his eyes wide. Shut up, I tell him. You're next. I love it. I flash a winning grin. He gathers up his fallen friend and drags him away as fast as he can go. Love all the little gumballs on the floor over there, too. Okay, that was pretty strange. It's just like when I was fighting Miku. My body seems to know how to pull off all these moves instinctively. Am I a martial artist, maybe? Anyway, I've got to find Hana. Easier said than done. I wander around the building, but I don't see any sign of the girl. Maybe she went back home? Eventually, I slump down on a bench in a corner. I wish I could go home too, I muttered to myself. Something cold presses against my neck. What? Is that what I think it is? Make a scene and I slit your throat. Oh no, it is a knife. Whoa. 2 foreign men grabbed me by the arms from either side. In that moment, fragmentary memories flood through my mind. Ooh. I'm on a street. It looks like someplace in the Middle East. I'm being dragged along by several men. I'm too scared to speak. There are people on the street, market vendors, but none of them seem willing to get involved. The men drag me into some back alley. Help me! Please, somebody help me. I'm being abducted. And then a dark silhouette drops down in front of me. The figure brandishes a knife threateningly at the men. The blade moves with dazzling speed. My captors are all down in mere moments. Who is this? Who came to save me? I try my utmost to drag my memories to the surface. It's a girl. That's right. I'm certain of that much. I don't remember her face, but it's a girl, younger than me. Walk faster. The angry hiss in my ear snaps me out of my flashback. What was that memory just now? I'm more concerned about the girl who saved me than I am about the men who've captured me now. The two thugs marched me along, still holding me by the arms. Can't believe she was in a place like that. Yeah, talk about giving us the runaround. I can't figure out what they're talking about. Place like what? Giving them the runaround? Do you know me? The two men look at each other. Wait, are you the other one? One of them peers closely into my face. What are you talking about? What do you mean, a place like... I stop as a sudden idea comes to me. Hold on. Are you talking about that storehouse? The men look utterly confused. What are you talking about? One of them asks. I explain that I've lost my memory. This seems to make them pretty anxious. We gotta report this. One of the men takes out his cell phone and makes a call. He informs whoever is on the other end that I've lost my memory. I have no idea what's going on. Based on what I can follow from the conversation, though, it seems those were the people who had put me in the storehouse. But why had they done that? One of these guys asked if I was the other one. What could that possibly mean? Could it be? Did they abduct me because they mistook me for someone else? If so, who? The more I try to think, the more muddy this all gets. Calm down, just calm down. Let's think of what we know. What I do know for sure is that I woke up inside that storehouse. And evidently, I took a blow to the head, and that's the cause of my amnesia. Hold on, that's strange. If these people had kidnapped me before, why wasn't the storehouse, well, locked? Seems pretty sloppy if they wanted to keep someone confined. What could all this possibly mean? It's no use. I haven't the foggiest. None of this makes any sense at all. Let go of her. I crane my neck to see who spoke. It's the man with the cane who was at the security office. Who the hell are you? One of my captors barks. I said let her go. Did you not hear? The man with the cane pulls a gun from his suit pocket. Get lost. This isn't worth dying over. The two men take a few steps back and then bolt out of the alleyway. Who are you? My voice trembles slightly. Yes, he's not here. The man takes a quick look around. Huh? He? Do you mean Mr. Yanagashita? All that matters is that he's not here. Gun in hand, the man slowly approaches. Hitomi Osawa, I know you've done nothing wrong. What? I feel a jolt of surprise at the name. Hitomi Osawa? Is that my name? His face a mask of stone, the man points the gun right at my head. Please, no hard feelings. Uh-oh. To be continued? Oh! I thought this was going to be a bad end. Oh, man. But Achi is still bad-ended, so that tells me that we made the wrong choice for what Maria does here. So we gotta make a new choice. This one. The man. Still following. Head to another floor. Let's see if that works. For now, maybe I should head to another floor. I hurry toward the bank of elevators. Ah! Well, if it isn't Tama! What a coincidence! It's Yanagashita again. I try to walk on by like I don't notice him, but it's already too late. Huh? Hey, where'd your boyfriend go? Boyfriend? I have no clue what he's talking about. Anyway, perfect timing! Can you give me back that magazine? Nothing you're saying is making any sense. I peer at him in confusion. Once again, Yanagashita looks like he might start to cry. Don't tease me like this! I did give it to you, right? No, you didn't give me anything. I get it. You wanted that 100,000 yen all to yourself. So now you're playing dumb, is that it? No, I honestly have no idea what this is all about. By now, he's all worked up and getting red in the face. Look, you might have amnesia, but that excuse ain't gonna fly with me. The amnesia has nothing to do with it. He doesn't seem to want to believe me, no matter what I say. Come on, hurry up and just give it back. Otherwise, I'm gonna start bawling here. Real loud. He's gonna cry? Seriously? This guy's a real piece of work. Well, what's it gonna be? You gonna make a grown man cry? It would certainly be pretty embarrassing if he starts sobbing now, but I can't exactly give him back a magazine I never had. Oh no, the elevator door is open. Well, if it isn't our little entrepreneur, we've been looking for you. Those guys, they're great. It's the two thugs from before, and there's no avoiding them this time. Two thugs, Asao Ozu and his underling Yutaro Sagawa, members of the Tenryugumi Yakuza Syndicate. Ozu was quite frightening. When angry, his nickname is Ozu the Ogre, but despite his strong emotions, he is very logic-driven. Sagawa is the archetypal punk who likes to get into scuffles, but he's also a really good cook. Thank you, game. That's very informative. I love it. Yikes! The men drag Mr. Yanagashita into the elevator. Save me, Tama! He grabs hold of my hand. Hey, let go of me! World building. Yeah, that is world building. Exactly. Great. Now I'm in the elevator too, and the doors are shutting. Hey, this is just like Captain America Winter Soldier. Now then, Mr. Yanagashita, says the bald-headed man, there's nowhere else to run. His tone is polite, but also pretty foreboding. Whoa, wait, just hold on. I can get you the money. I'm just about to get loads of it. Enough of your poppycock, snarls the younger guy. Poppycock, balderdash, claptrap, straight up nonsense. Take it from the Dutch poppycock, meaning soft dung. There you go. I bet you didn't know that. I bet you didn't know that. I really mean it this time, please. You have to believe me. I can pay you 100,000 right now. 100,000? You really carrying around that much? Asked the bald man. No, not me. The girl. The men turned eye me in unison. She's holding on to something that's worth 100,000 yen. What? The sudden turn in the conversation has me all flustered. I love how pissed she looks. It's amazing. Tama, please, Yanagashita says. Just hand it over. I already told you, I don't know what you're talking about. The elevator stops at the first floor and the doors open. Oh! Standing on the other side of the door is the guy I ran into earlier, Hana's father. The bald-headed man snarls. Toyama! I'll just get the next one. Hana's father bolts like a startled hare. The bald man and his cronies stare after him. Now's my chance! Yanagashita hisses. He darts out of the elevator and makes a run for it. Hey, after him! Shouts the bald man. After who? Him? Or him? Just start with Toyama! The two thugs race after Hana's father. They've left me all by myself. I'm worried enough to think about going after them, but before too long, I've lost sight of them all. For a long time, I just stand there dumbfounded, like a hurricane victim, lingering in the aftermath. That's very poetic. What a day this has been. When I finally get my wits about me, I realize I'm pretty hungry. That's right, I didn't get to eat lunch. I head for the 4th floor where the restaurants are. Since I really don't want to run into Yanagashita and those guys again, I decide to take the escalator. As I'm riding it up, I hear a commotion coming from the floor below. It's a man's voice, shouting angrily. Out of my way, come on! I pay the outburst no heed and let the escalator take me up. Wonder who that is. Is this gonna get to be where just the regular store? Yeah, okay. When I arrive, this sign for a Chinese buffet catches my eye. Okay, that's just the rest of it. But we have saved Achi from a cruel fate at the hands of the Yakuza. So, Maria's done. Kano's done. So we need to get Minorikawa, Osawa, and Achi to the end of the hour. Okay, okay. We're cranking this out. We're doing it. Well, how about we do? Let's do Achi. You know, we got Achi. Achi took the escalator down to the 3rd floor, and there was Hitomi standing right in the open after he'd been searching for her high and low. Oh, this is it, yeah. So this is the same scene. Anyway, come on, we have to go hide. She looks all confused. Wish there was a faster way to skip this, but there isn't. She quickly yanked her hand away, and then she runs off. Okay. Right, he hurried after her. Changed her personality, hoo hoo hoo. He stayed in pursuit of her, trying not to draw too much attention. He lost track of her somewhere near the elevators. What is her deal? Unsure what else he should do, he headed back down to their rendezvous point on the 2nd floor. When he arrived, he spotted Hitomi heading down the escalator ahead of him. Hitomi! Achi shouted, but his voice vanished into the noise of the crowd, and she disappeared onto the 1st floor. Damn it! Achi rushed down the escalator. He took the steps 2, 3, 5 at a time. He made it to the 1st floor and looked around. There was Hitomi, about to take a different escalator back up. Why is she doing this? He waved his arms to get her attention, but she didn't notice and headed right back up. Down, up. What the heck is she thinking? Achi sped around and got onto the upward escalator. Out of my way! Come on! He shoved people aside as he ran up the moving stairs. But he saw no sign of Hitomi when he reached the 2nd floor. He'd lost track of her completely. Oh, come on! This is ridiculous! Achi's shoulders slumped. He felt exhausted, but he kept up his search, scouring one floor after another until eventually he made it down to the 2nd basement level. Had she grown too impatient, waiting for Kanan, and gone off searching for the blue minivan again? I think I can handle myself from here. He thought back to what Hitomi had said earlier. Damn it. She's not gonna be okay by herself! He pounded his fist into the wall in frustration. Please stop! That was Hitomi's voice. Hitomi! Achi moved faster than he could think. Oh no. Achi! She called back. A pair of thugs had grabbed her by her arms. Achi stomped his way towards them. Get your hands off her! He shouted. Huh? What's it to you, pal? The older of the two, a middle-aged fellow, turned to Achi with a sneer. He looked familiar somehow. Hitomi shook herself free of the men and ran over to Achi. It's no use trying to act tough, buddy. We're just trying to get back what we're owed. Don't make us have to get rough with you. What are you owed? Hitomi, do you owe people money? No, I don't. They just came after me and started going on about 2 million yen. She looked just as baffled by the situation as Achi was. If you're gonna blame someone, blame your boss, the older man said. He gestured to his lackey. A feral gleam flashed in the young punk's eyes. It was the look of a man who couldn't resist dishing out a beatdown. He brought up his fists and shifted his feet, shadowboxing a few quick jabs with his left hand. It looked to Achi like the guy was an experienced boxer. Hold on, Hitomi said. What do you mean, my boss? Say what? Yanagashita. Who the hell do you think? The young punk shuffled closer, fists still menacing. Then his expression changed. Hey. Hold on. Are you Achi Endo? Yeah, that's right. Well, ain't that lucky? Getting to throw down with you like this. The punk sounded pleased, indeed. I've heard all sorts of rumors about you. You know, let's see how true they are. Glitchy Pants, hello, welcome. This is Mr. Yanagashita's ride. It's a much crazier one. Achi didn't like his chances in a straight-up fight with a trained boxer. What should he do? He better run for it. He had to go for broke. He had to apologize. Ah, man. Ah, man, what do we do? He better run for it. Apologize or go for broke. Man. That is... Let's see. Apologizing is just silly. I think we got to go for broke. I want to see how this goes. He had to go for broke. His best chance was to hope for an opening to deliver a low kick. Low kick. A kick using the foot or shin to strike the opponent in the thigh just above the knee. In karate, this is known as Gidan Mawashigiri. Since the legs are longer than the arms, this is an effective technique against boxers. Grab dance. He'd need to time it perfectly when his opponent took a step forward. With a loud breath, the thug shot at his left arm. Now! Achi shifted his stance and unleashed a low kick. Suddenly, the elevator doors opened right nearby. Achi and the punk both stopped in mid-attack. What is this game? This game is peak. You might not like it, but this is what peak visual novel looks like. Yes, this is like the only game of its kind, but it is amazing. A miserable-looking older man stood in the elevator. At the sight of him, the punk's face went red with rage. You! Toyama! Going up! The man in the elevator hurriedly closed the doors. The two thugs rushed toward him, but the elevator had already begun heading back upward. What is a man, a miserable-looking pile of debt? Come on after him! The older man shouted. The young punk raced up the stairs. You, stay right where you are! The older fellow added, glaring at Hitomi. Then he followed after his lackey. Does he really think we're dumb enough to just wait here? Achi scoffed. Achi, I've been looking all over for you. Hitomi gave him an angry swat on the chest. For me? What are you talking about? You weren't waiting where you said you'd be. Well, yeah, because you went up to another floor. What do you mean? I went right where you said. On the second floor. Huh? This wasn't quite adding up. The second floor? What are you talking about? You went up to the third floor. No, I didn't. Wait, what? None of this makes any sense. Achi felt like his brain was getting scrambled. Well, anyway, at least I found you safe and sound. Yeah, the two smiled at one another. What's with those clothes? Hitomi's new outfit was completely different from the clothes she'd had on earlier. Yes, it is on Steam. So yeah, 428 Shibuya Scramble on Steam. Very good. Very good game. I love it. I tried on a few things, but wound up deciding on this. You tried other stuff on? Okay. That explains it, Achi said. At least now things sort of made sense. That's nice, you know. What is? Your clothes, I mean. They look good on you. Thank you. Wow, I'm actually blushing right now. Kinda made me blush to say it. Achi and Hitomi shyly avoided each other's eyes. Oh no, she's got the magazine! There we go, we've made a 428 Shibuya Scramble sale. I'm a game salesman now. I hope you enjoy it. This game is peak. Oh, so hey, Achi said, eager to change the subject. Do you still have that magazine? Oh, right, yeah. I was gonna just throw it away, but I couldn't. How come? I haven't been able to find the right kind of receptacle. Newspapers and magazines are supposed to be kept separate from normal trash, right? Hitomi scanned their surroundings for a suitable bin. Wait, are you serious? Yeah. You're thinking about proper recycling now? Of all times? Is that weird? Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I think you might just be perfect. Achi found himself blushing even harder now. Tama! A sudden yell snapped him out of his embarrassment. I know exactly who that is. The sketchy-looking fellow who had given her the magazine was scampering down the stairs toward them. Great, Achi said. The weirdo's back. The man ignored him, though, and leaned in close to Hitomi. Oh, You do still have it! He snatched the magazine from Hitomi's hands. Yes, this one hasn't been scratched off yet. The man hunkered down on the floor and began scratching away at a scratch card stapled into the centerfold. Wait! Don't let him have that! Another man came swooping out of nowhere and yanked the magazine away. It was the older fellow who'd appeared in the elevator minutes before. You can't do that! That's mine! The sketchy-looking man clutched at the older newcomer. Let go! No way! I said let go, and I said no way! The two were fighting right in front of the exit, keeping Achi and Hitomi from leaving. How do you like this? The older man shouted, scratching away haphazardly at the ticket. No, it's just a worthless scrap of paper! Oh, my 100,000 yen! You mean my 100,000 yen? Then the middle-aged fellow looked back down at the ticket. What are the odds? Somehow, in his random scratching, he managed to land himself a winner. Give it! No way! The two men took off, engaged in a running battle for the ticket. What was the deal with those two? I'm not sure. Achi and Hitomi could only stand there dumbfounded. On the other hand, hey, look at the time. It's almost 3. That was incredible. 50. Oh, is it $50? Seriously? Hang on just a second. What did I get it for? Because I definitely didn't get it for $50. Let me check for this. Because I got it on sale. Oh wow! It says that during last winter sale, it was on sale for $5.99. Yeah. There we go. Kablamo's on it. There we go. Chat's helping out. Yeah, I was gonna say I definitely didn't get it for $50. I got it for like probably about like $10 to $15, I think. Because I streamed this once before back in 2022, so I got it a few years ago. And yes, Yanagashita is a saint. He is. The two hurriedly headed for the Gigo back entrance. But just as they were nearing the doors, the shutters dropped down in front of them. Whoa, what gives? Also, 100,000 yen in 2009 is $1,000 or $629 today. Oh, really? Okay, oof. So, hang on, let me quickly explain. The guy who was trying to grab the magazine actually is the publisher of that magazine, and it has a scratch card in it that is accidentally see-through, so you can just get it perfectly every time. And he's in debt for 100,000 yen on like every single magazine he sent out. So that's why he's in such a rush to get rid of all the copies of it. Due to maintenance, all entrances other than the main entrance on the first floor have been closed. We apologize for the inconvenience. Customers wishing to leave, please use the main entrance on the first floor. Achi glared at the loudspeaker. It looked like there was no exit through the back after all. I've got a really bad preposition about this. You mean premonition? Hitomi had gotten quicker to butt in with her corrections. So how grounded to reality is this game? Moderately. It is, I would describe it as a comedy thriller. So imagine the show 24, but instead of being about terrorism, it's about a bunch of people having really weird experiences in Shibuya in Tokyo for about 10 hours. That's what this game is. 24 was a show that was like 24 hours of this guy like doing anti-terrorism stuff. It's not a bad show, but that's kind of what this is. It's like just real time, hour by hour. The objective of the game is to get every character to the next hour, so that you can continue the story, and you do that by making decisions that affect other people's storylines and stuff. Holding on to their premonitions, then, the two hurried their way up the stairwell. As Hitomi tried to head out the first floor entryway, Achi yanked her back. Careful. What's the matter? It's that guy. Huh? Hitomi's expression stiffened. Hey, Gucci Pants, I appreciate it. Hey, I totally get it. I totally get it. Yeah. I totally understand. Yes, this game is great to experience. Slipping behind a nearby pillar, Achi pointed to the man with the cane, who was keenly eyeing shoppers as they came and went. Well, this bites. No way we're getting out with him there. Achi, Hitomi whispered in his ear. Behind us. Achi glanced back and saw the two goons walking in their direction. Uh-oh. If those two caused a scene like before, the assassin would notice them for sure. Ah! The younger punk had spotted them. Damn it, Achi thought, gritting his teeth. It's Freddy Fazbear. Well, literally, look, there's a Sega logo right there, and we saw a Sonic the Hedgehog doll earlier. But the thuggish pair let out a teensy squeak and then darted off in a different direction, vanishing from view. What the heck? Achi and Hitomi watched them go, unsure what to make of the sudden retreat. Well, anyway, Achi said after a moment, now we can try to find another way out. Taking Hitomi by the hand, he headed back into the shopping area. The back entrance on the first floor, that was a no-go. The other emergency exits were also locked down, which meant that the main entrance on the first floor really was the only choke point, in or out. It was almost time for them to meet Kanan. They needed to find some way to bust out of here. The pair headed back toward the main entrance. Then they saw the man with the cane again, heading in their direction. He hadn't seen them yet, but there was no way they'd avoid him if they didn't do something quick. Guess for now we've got to go up, Achi said it to Hitomi. They started racing up the nearest escalator, which was descending from above. My bad, coming through. Sorry, please excuse us. They fought and shoved their way past a stream of people riding in the other direction. They could see the second floor now. Achi figured they'd be in the clear once they got there. No! No! It's cheery. But then a large woman, a comically overweight woman, appeared at the top of the escalator, heading down. She was the one who'd been in the Chinese restaurant on the 4th floor. The one who'd supposedly packed an entire buffet into her belly. She was wide enough that Achi and Hitomi would never be able to slip past her. Oh. Hey, out of the way, Achi shouted. But the young woman ignored him. Achi tried to push past, but he just bounced off her. They were drifting inevitably back down toward the first floor. It was like they were riding a conveyor belt that was delivering them right to the assassin. This was not good. If they didn't do something soon, they'd... Wait a sec. Something must have caught the assassin's eye. Achi saw him suddenly rush outside. There was no telling what had just happened, but now there was a chance to escape. Yeah, she's not... Like, this was a comically overweight woman in Japan in 2008, apparently. Achi and Hitomi raced out the door. Wow, indeed. Yeah, the stomach expands 20% more. Outside, the man with the cane was nowhere to be seen. Looks like we're safe. Achi let out a sigh. For now, someone said, keep your eyes open. It's Kanan! The sudden words made the two turn with a start. Fun, weird fact, the actress who plays Kanan was actually 14 years old at this time. This is actually a 14-year-old girl, which is interesting. Kanan was standing right behind them. She'd gotten this close and neither of them had noticed a thing. She moved with all the skill of an assassin. Achi felt a chill shoot through him. Is this the end of their storyline for now? Come on. Yep, there it is. To be continued. Okay. Okay. That leaves us Minorikawa and Osawa. So here we go. I will ask you guys, do you want the super serial Osawa storyline? Or do you want the super goofy Minorikawa storyline? Pick your fate. This is basically an anime, though, so a 14-year-old girl has been through several wars and could split a continent with a punch. Yes, you're right. This is literally a live-action anime. Yes. All right. Minorikawa or Osawa? Because we've gotten everybody else to the next hour. All right, curious about Osawa. All right, let's do it. Let's get Osawa's storyline moving forward then. Okay, so Osawa just got a phone call from Kano, and we made Kano not mention the virus, so Osawa doesn't go ballistic and think that that Tokyo is about to get Raccoon City'd and nuked. Osawa was so startled that his voice caught in his throat. What are you talking about? The antiviral research was top secret. How did some detective from the Shibuya precinct know about it? Osawa was bewildered. I'm the one asking the questions here, Mr. Osawa. Did you give the antiviral drug to your daughter, Hitomi? I'm not sure I understand the question. I know what this syndicate is really after, Mr. Osawa. Osawa's mind went blank when he heard what Kano said next. He could give no reply, because in the other version of this, Kano said the virus, and Osawa freaked out. Mr. Osawa? The detective continued after a moment. Is everything all right? Without really thinking, Osawa hung up. Osawa staggered out of the living room. He needed to be alone. To his surprise, Kajiwara didn't try to stop him. Shutting his study door behind him, he dropped onto his sofa, then grabbed 3 times his normal dosage of stomach pills. Oh yeah, stomach pills? Is it a Tums festival in his office? There was no water in the room, so he had to swallow them dry. Ooh! Detective Kano's words echoed in his mind. I know what the syndicate is really after, Mr. Osawa. It's Hitomi. There was only one reason they could be after Hitomi. He broke out in a cold sweat as he began to understand what this kidnapping was really about. It had all started 6 days earlier. It was April 22nd. Osawa had just returned from the United States the day before. He was in the midst of some routine work at the General Research Lab when his cell phone rang. The LCD display showed an unlisted caller. With some hesitation, Osawa picked it up. Hello? Is this Kenji Osawa? And do you have Prince Albert in a can? The caller was using a voice modulator. Voice modulator, a type of a device or software used to make one's voice sound different. Changing a voice to the point of making a voice print or tone analysis impossible presents a major challenge. To be able to do so in real time requires major financial and technological resources. Osawa raised an eyebrow. Yes. Go and analyze Hitomi's blood. Her blood? If you don't, she's going to die. With that, the caller hung up. There was an intensity behind this that made Osawa sure it wasn't just some prank call. He had Hitomi come into the lab ASAP. He told Hitomi he wanted a sample of her blood for an experiment. She agreed, suspecting nothing. He placed some of the blood he'd drawn onto a glass slide, then added some fluorescent, a type of fluorescent dye. Fluorescent, a yellow-green liquid, a type of fluorescent dye, chiefly used in preparing specimens for viewing under a fluorescent microscope, but it has other uses as well, such as a diagnostic reagent administered in eye exams. Its highest volume use is on St. Patrick's Day, when massive amounts of fluorescent are used to dye the Chicago River green. Fluorescent dye, a type of dye that causes the dyed substance to emit higher wavelength fluorescent light when illuminated with a certain other type of light. Such dyes can reveal fine details when used on specimens viewing through a fluorescent microscope. There you go. I hope you feel edified by that. Placing the slide under a fluorescence microscope, he took a look. It can't be. Osawa could hardly believe his eyes. Wriggling under the microscope was the Grim Reaper's sickle itself. There was no mistaking it. Hitomi was infected with the Uwa virus. Trembling, Osawa hurried to his computer. He opened the Uwa virus folder on his monitor. Within were images showing the stages of the virus's propagation. He double-clicked to magnify the first image. The Reaper's sickles were interlocked with one another. He clicked on the next image. After further propagation, the Uwa virus looked like a sickle and more like some insectoid larva. It's Las Plagas! Next was the final image. Interlocked into a single mass, the Uwa virus vaguely resembled a sinister, many-petaled sunflower. That's Ouroboros. It took a mere 12 hours for the pathogen to develop to this point and began its insidious destruction of the human body. Hitomi's infection sample was still in the state shown in the first image. There was still a chance to save her. Osawa slumped back in his chair, huddling to himself. He had no choice. There was only one way to save Hitomi. He would have to administer the nearly completed antiviral. Using the antiviral without official approval was a grievous violation of company policies. Violation of company policy. Acting against company rules and regulations, Okosi Pharmaceutical prohibits leaking work-related information to outsiders. In the case of a major violation, not only can the violator be fired, but the company may also seek indemnities. Still, Osawa didn't have time to get the higher-ups to approve a clinical trial. He might be punished severely for it, but this was his only option. His daughter's life was at stake. But there was also another, even bigger hurdle in his way. The antiviral drug was stored in the deepest recesses of the biochemical research building. A high-intensity X-ray scanner was set up at the entrance of the storage area. This made it impossible for him to take research materials out. X-ray, a type of radiation, also referred to as Rontgen rays, with a shorter wavelength than UV light, but a longer wavelength than gamma rays. Because X-rays can perpetrate many objects with little absorption or scattering, they can be used to create images of internal structure. Hospitals, for example, use X-ray technology to examine the insides of patients' bodies, while security personnel use it to scan luggage at airports and to search for bombs. Well, if he couldn't get the antiviral out of there, he'd just have to bring Hitomi in. A course of action quickly took shape in his mind. First, he'd need to slip out of the general research building. He would then head to the biochemical research facility and show his ID card to the guard at the front gate. ID card. Identification card. Many facilities that carry out highly classified research assign different levels of security clearance to individual researchers, and only those with suitable clearance, as indicated by their ID cards, are admitted to restricted areas. Development of more advanced technologies, such as electron ID tags, are replacing older barcode-type entry cards. Oh wow, we got a this is animated. Oh boy, it's serious. Hey, this is the lobby from the Matrix. After passing through a lobby under the watchful gaze of several security cameras, he'd reach an elevator at the end of the hall that went directly to the storage section. This elevator required an ID card scan to operate. And there it goes. That's deep. This is an umbrella lab, geez. It would take about 20 seconds to get down to the first basement level and arrive at the entrance to the storage area. Finding an excuse to get Hitomi that far ought to be doable. If the security guard got suspicious, Osawa could say it was for a top-secret hematology experiment, and the guard would probably believe him. The problem was what came after. This is a Paul W.S. Anderson production. Getting into the storage area itself required fingerprint authentication from both Osawa and Tanaka. This meant that he couldn't possibly get to the antiviral without Tanaka's cooperation. Desperate with uncertainty, Osawa called up Tanaka. He frantically explained the situation. Understood, Tanaka replied. We need to get rid of this drug as soon as possible. If the company finds out about this, you'll be held accountable for violation of corporate policy, along with me. Are you sure you're okay with that? What are you talking about? Hitomi's life is more important than company policy. Tanaka spoke without hesitation. Osawa felt an immense surge of gratitude for his assistant. And I have to say, I'm deeply moved by your determination, Tanaka added. Moved? Whatever for? You really are worried about Hitomi. Osawa's gratitude faded. What are you talking about? Of course I am. My apologies. It's just that putting your career on the line for something so personal is... It's what? It's not like me? No, well... Yes. I'm sorry. Now Tanaka's voice was colored with embarrassment. Just what sort of person do you think I am? Osawa resisted the urge to ask the question out loud. A short time later, Osawa and Tanaka stood before the door to the secure storage area. The security guard had let them in without the slightest suspicion. Osawa pressed his index finger to the fingerprint scanner first. Accepted. He realized he'd been holding his breath as his authorization finally went through. Half a moment later, Tanaka touched his own finger to the scanner plate. Accepted. The lock released with an audible clang, and the heavy door opened. Osawa hurried to retrieve the antiviral. As he picked up a small vial, he had a sudden realization. They were finally going to use the drug in a human test. His fatherly wish to cure Hitomi was overlaid by an intense rush of curiosity. The researchers' drive to discover his results. Hurry! I need to hurry! I need to administer the antiviral as soon as possible. Osawa could hardly fend off his excitement. Over the course of the next few hours, following the injection, the Uwa virus would be eradicated from Hitomi's body. There had been some fever and cramping as temporary side effects, but the DDS had done a spectacular job of stomping out the virus. The drug delivery system, also known as smart drug delivery, the ability to target a specific region of the body with a specific drug, has momentous implications for the future of medicine. DDS technology is currently being tested extensively around the world. In saving his daughter's life, Osawa had proven the value of his research. If he had been asked which made him happier, he would have been hard-pressed to give an answer. Afterwards, he asked Hitomi where she could have become infected, but she had no idea. He explained the need for secrecy and strictly forbade her telling anyone else what had happened. Now a week had passed since Osawa gave the drug to Hitomi. He'd been conducting checks and had discovered that the DDS had not broken down but remained in Hitomi's bloodstream. Extracting the DDS was a simple matter, requiring just a small blood sample from around the nape of the neck. The DDS tends to linger on the nape of the neck because of the lymph nodes located there. These lymph nodes identify viruses that invade the body as foreign substances to be attacked, but they're not always able to overcome particularly powerful pathogens. In such case, the virus propagates rapidly inside of them. Once the patient has been treated, the antiviral will seek out the virus and accumulate there as well. The DDS itself was simply the delivery system for the antiviral drug. Residual amounts of the antiviral itself stayed behind within the cells. Residual, the materials used to create the DDS, must, as a matter of course, cause minimal or no harm to the human body. Ideally, rather than accumulate inside the body, DDS substances should be either digested and absorbed or excreted. Because the antiviral must remain in the body for as long as the virus is active, however, a very careful balance must be struck between persistence and dissipation. Using the DDS, it was possible to extract these minuscule amounts from cells in a blood sample. It might take considerable time, but a sufficiently detailed analysis could allow for the antiviral drug itself to be reconstructed. Osawa felt a chill as he contemplated the situation. The kidnappers had known how tough security was at the lab, so they'd come up with the idea of using a human vessel to get what they needed from within. By infecting Itomi with the UA virus, they'd ensured that she'd receive the antiviral. She'd have it in her blood. If Tanaka was working with the kidnappers, that explained why he'd been so cooperative about the fingerprint scanner. Damn it! Osawa shouted. He clutched his head in his hands. Tanaka had been his partner and trusted confidant for years. Osawa refused to believe he'd been betrayed like this. The front door chime sounded. Mr. Osawa, Kajiwara called out. It appears you have a visitor. Could you handle that? Who's our visitor? It's Minorikawa, but we're gonna wait for him. Who could it possibly be now, of all times? You deal with it? All right. You deal with it. Interacting with Minorikawa is not good. Ever. You deal with it. Osawa was in no state of mind to receive a guest. Can't do that, sir, Kajiwara said firmly. We can't let the kidnappers learn that there are detectives here. Then have I take care of it, Osawa told him. Kajiwara headed off. Right now, Osawa just wanted some time to think by himself. Was Tanaka really one of the kidnappers? But if he was after the antiviral, he had plenty of opportunity to get his hands on it when they gave it to Hitomi, hadn't he? Was that really what these people wanted after all? The answer seemed to evade him at every turn. Unable to think of what else to do, he tried the internet fortune teller again. Okay. I love he's like this really rational guy, but he's also into teeny bopper music and doing stuff like that. He got the same "you're a very work-minded person" result the second time. If you don't get over your indifference to the world might start to harbor quite a grudge. My indifference to the world around me, huh? The truth was that even with his closest companions, even with Tanaka, for instance, his relationship had always been strictly a matter of business. He'd never really taken it upon himself to get to know Tanaka as a person. And that was pretty much the case for everyone he knew. He harbored no interest in other people. He had no concern for his fellow man. That had made itself abundantly clear when he received a microscope as a birthday present way back in first grade. Even now, he still remembered the shock he'd felt when he looked through that lens for the first time. He discovered a new, almost infinite world hidden in the midst of the one he'd always thought was too small. By comparison, the real world seemed bland and ugly. Wherever he looked, wherever he went, he had to contend with tedium. It hadn't taken long for him to become more charmed by the world under his microscope than the one around him. It was like a quiet, calm little seaside. A beach where he could just sit and stare out at the waves. He wanted to stay immersed in that world forever and ever. Before he knew it, he was an adult, and then a husband, and then a father. The people around him thought him an odd fellow, but he hadn't let that change the way he lived his life. And this now was the result. He hadn't been betrayed by Tanaka. He didn't know Tanaka well enough for that. Find a way to connect more deeply with the people around you and start living a better life before it's too late. And just do that, and you're sure to have a wonderful future ahead. Osawa picked up his cell phone and dialed Tanaka's number. I had tried calling him repeatedly and hadn't gotten through. It was doubtful that he'd pick up. Still, Osawa had to try. The phone rang several times. He listened grimly to the empty mechanical sound, preparing himself for disappointment. What is it? Tanaka's voice sounded coldly in Osawa's ear. The tension was electric. Oh, to be continued? No, keep out! Oh. Kept out. Okay. I'm gonna take my customary quick break. I'm gonna try, there's apparently like a break feature. So I'm going to make a really quick, I'm gonna try this out real quick. And I'll be right back, okay? We're gonna try the break feature. I'm gonna start it now. Okay, we're back. We're back. Yeah, I didn't notice anything either. It just gave me like a little timer for me. So, okay. I am back. Yes. My mic is up. I'm ready to go. All right. So here we go. We got... He had to make a choice. He decided to give up and head to his next interview. He decided to wait a little bit longer. Let's say... let's go to the next interview. Oh, well. I'll have to come back later. Minorukawa decided he'd better get to his next interview. He started to head back toward the taxi. A woman's voice came through the intercom. Who is it? It's Minorukawa. Where would I know you from, Mr. Minorukawa? Oh, you know, here and there. I mean, there's only one Minorukawa, really. I don't have time for such nonsense. Please be on your way. I'm not going anywhere until I get an interview. Interview? Who are you with? The woman's tone had changed now. Maybe Minorukawa could simply talk his way through this. This is a piece for 4-star general gossip. Ah, perfect. I've been wanting to talk to them. Was this one of the Miss Midoriyama winners? Or perhaps it was the girl's mother, eager to boast about her daughter's achievement. You assume you're familiar with defamation of character, the woman said. What are you talking about? Article 230 of the Penal Code of Japan defines it as any attack against a person's reputation or societal standing. It's a very serious crime. I know what it is, Minorikawa said. What's your point? He had a bad feeling about this. Why discuss libel laws right before an interview? Oh, I'm not letting you get away with telling me you've forgotten. I'm not going anywhere until I get an interview, says the man who was literally walking away a second ago. Right. I wonder if you'll remember once I bring up charges. Her tone was calm and level, but laced with malice. You're talking nonsense, lady. Are you the mother? I've got business with your daughters. Put one of them on the line. Nonsense! The woman's wrath radiated from the intercom. It's your 4-star general gossip that specializes in nonsense. Her voice was so loud that it was cracking. Detective, arrest this man. He's a criminal. Detective, huh? You don't really think I'd fall for that, do you, lady? Just who do you think I am? I'm Minoru Minorikawa. He crossed his arms and struck a defiant pose. Oh no. Then the front door opened and several men came trotting out. Sir, one of the men said, we'd like to ask you a few questions. At the word sir, the man flashed his badge and Minorikawa turned to run on reflex. He hadn't thought she'd actually send detectives after him. Just what the hell had Heaven Publishing done to her? Never mind. He needed to get out of here. He couldn't afford to get arrested right now. Oh, no. Out with it. You abducted that girl, didn't you? Detective, you keep asking me the same question over and over. And I'll keep on asking until you tell me the truth. Look, ask all you want, but you can't tell me what I don't know. I can't tell you what I don't know. Let's go back to the beginning, shall we? Oh, cut the crap. I don't have time for your games. As a matter of fact, you have plenty of time. I can assure you of that. The stubborn detective flashed him a grin. I can keep doing this for days if that's what it takes to get you to confess. Oh no. And so the interrogation went on for hours. In the end, once his innocence had been established, Minorikawa was finally released. He wrote a scathing indictment on his experience. The reporter shook up the system in a major way, but that's another story for another day. Bad end. But that didn't actually happen. Wrongly accused. Minorikawa was arrested for a crime he had nothing to do with. That woman he talked to must really, really hate 4-star general gossip. Clearly he had no hope of getting anywhere with her, but maybe there's someone more understanding who might answer the intercom instead. Okay, so having I take care of it was the bad choice. All right. Let's change fate. All right. The police were held accountable for their actions. Bad end. Yeah. There's some suspect bad ends in this. With a sigh, Osawa dragged himself to his feet. What the heck? He stumbled warily back to the living room, where the investigators were staring at the intercom monitor with concern. The intercom's hidden camera showed a man with an unsettling grin posed intimidatingly outside the front gate. What a description of him. Osawa didn't recognize him. That face. Look at that. Yes, who is it? He asked guardedly through the intercom. It's Minorikawa. Where might I know you from, Mr. Minorikawa? Oh, you know, here and there. I mean, there's only one Minorikawa, really. Are you playing games with me? I don't have time for that. Please, just open up. There's no way I'm letting you in, Osawa said. But the nonsensical badgering continued. Look, just hold your horses. I'm here for an interview. You got that? An interview? That's right. It's a piece for 4-star general gossip. The name of the magazine brought up an unpleasant memory. That was the gossip rag that had run the article about his political marriage. Wait, this is for one of those kinds of articles? What do you mean, those kind of articles? I'm just here for an interview. The man's tone was both high-handed and belligerent. Like hell you are. I'm not talking to anyone from the gossip. You're not the one I'm here to talk to. I want to interview your twin daughters. My daughters? I understand they won a shared prize for a beauty contest at Midoriyama Academy. If you wouldn't mind me interviewing them, Furious, Osawa cut off the intercom. There was no time to be indulging someone else's nonsense. Hey, what gives? The man was shouting so loud his voice carried past the gate and through the front door. I'm begging out here, on my hands and knees! He wasn't actually on his hands and knees, so I could see that clearly through the intercom monitor. Yes, the aggressive pointing. If your daughters aren't home, can you at least tell me that tell them I want to get in touch with them? Mr. Osawa, Kajiwara said, frowning. This isn't a good time to have someone drawing attention to your home. All right, I'll get rid of him. Osawa hurried out of the house, confronting Minoru through the front gate. Hey, there we go. The journalist had that tenacious look that immediately marked him as a member of the media. Give me a business card, Osawa said. I'll have them get in touch with you later. He took Minoru card, then went right back inside. Back in his study, Osawa tossed Minoru business card into the trash. Got him. Unable to think of what else to do, he tried the internet fortune teller again. Oh, okay. This is back to, yeah, that's the same one. Wait, keep out. That's weird. All right. He had to make a choice. I don't think it actually matters. Let's just say, come back later. With the taxi. Suddenly, a man's voice came through the intercom. Yeah, that's right. Open up and connect with the Minoru in your life, man. You just need to talk to the friendly reporters. Yes, who is it? He sounded rather guarded. It's Minoru. Where might I know you from, Mr. Minoru? Oh, you know, here and there. I mean, there's only one Minoru, really. Are you playing games with me? I don't have time for that. Please, just open up. There's no way I'm letting you in. This discussion was getting them nowhere. Minoru decided he'd have to take the direct approach. Look, just hold your horses. I'm here for an interview. You got that? An interview? He'd taken the bait. Most folks could hardly resist the word interview. That's right. It's a piece for 4-star general gossip. Wait, this is for one of those kinds of articles? The man sounded angry now. What do you mean, those kind of articles? I'm just looking for an interview. Like hell you are. I'm not talking to anyone from the gossip. You're not the one I'm here to talk to. I want to interview your twin daughters. My daughters? No parent would deny their children a chance for word of their achievements to spread. I understand they won a shared prize for a beauty contest at Midoriyama Academy. If you wouldn't mind my interviewing them, The intercom cut out before Minoru could finish. Hey, what gives? I'm begging out here, on my hands and knees. He wasn't actually on his hands and knees, but whoever was on the other end couldn't see that. Yes, he could. Oh, I love this game. Now, if your daughters aren't home, can you at least tell them I want to get in touch with them? He wasn't even using the intercom now, he was just shouting over the gate. A man stepped out of the front door. Give me your business card, he said. I'll have them get in touch with you later. The man had a somewhat stricken look on his face. This had to be Kenji Osawa then. Wait, hold on. Osawa. Now Minoru recognized him. This was Kenji Osawa, the preeminent virologist who worked for Akonoshi Pharmaceutical. 4-star General Gossip had run a scandalous article on him in the past. Minoru remembered reading it. Oop. He held out his business card and Osawa snatched it from him. The virologist started to head back into his house. Pleased to see that they get back to me, Mr. Osawa, Minoru shouted after him. And then he noticed something odd. It was the middle of the afternoon, but every window in the house had its curtains drawn. That, combined with Osawa's demeanor, set off alarm bells in Minoru's head. He knew he was onto something, but he couldn't linger at the Osawa residence any longer than he already had. He needed to get to that theater ASAP. He hurried back to the taxi and told Kimizuka to go. A few minutes later, the rear tire skidded sharply as the cab came to a stop beside a different curb. The trip from Shoto to the theater in Sakuragaoka had taken almost no time at all. Here we are, sir. Kimazuka announced. Wow, that was fast. Still, Minoru was at least 5 minutes behind schedule. He'd hoped he'd still be able to get the interview with Orai. Keep out! Alright, so we gotta do Osawa's jumpy jump, I'm guessing. Let's see, Minoru. Let's see, Osawa heard out, confronting Minoru. Is this gonna break it? I think it will. It did! Oof! Oof! I love it! Okay. Minoru got his wallet out of his jacket to pay the driver. Oh no, Kimazuka said, waving a hand. Don't worry about the fare. Huh? Why not? There's still plenty left over from what you paid me earlier, sir. That's what I meant by special fare. That's right. He'd paid Kimazuka a whole 10,000 yen for taking him to Endo Electronics earlier. But, I mean, I'm not the sort of person to keep the change, as it were, Kimazuka said. Minoru felt a surge of pride at those words. You're my kind of guy, Mr. Kimazuka. A man on the job can always count on Hachiro Kimazuka's taxi. The driver grinned. Now go on. Go! Thank you! I have a feeling we'll meet again. Spoiler, they do. As Minoru entered the theater lobby, he saw a bunch of flower bouquets, patrons' gifts of appreciation. Among the names of the senders were celebrities he recognized. The largest of the bouquets was sent by Koichi Nakamura of the secret society Chunsoft. Wait a minute. Chunsoft? Oh no. The largest came from Marutu Ishihara from the government organization Joy Art. Following that were those from actress Barako Rose, popular scenario writer Ibisu Ipanmatsu, Tohoku Busters Bus Tours, Co-Limited Bus Guide Kimiko Amo, professional baseball player Nasa Naokiyo, the ventriloquist Shinshin, ukulele player Hawaii Matsuda, online TV critic Genso Akizo, and so on! Oh no. It's got to be like people who worked on the game. It's got to be. Tipping is considered rude in Japan. Is it? I know, like in the UK, it's considered to be like way above and beyond. Because one of the first restaurants I ate at, I tipped at, and like people freaked out. Like in a good way. So like that's not really a thing over in the UK. I'm not sure about Japan. Evidently, the Wandering Angels were a pretty popular acting troupe. Wandering Angels Episode 4. Novice actor Takuya Amo, despite his nervousness, gave a credible performance as Shido as the production got underway. But as the show continued, his experience became apparent. He went on stage for the big wire action scene, having forgotten to attach himself to the rigging. Tozuka was quick to act, rushing on stage in the improvised role of assassin with an Edo accent #1, and fixing a rope to Amo's back during the confusion. Continued in episode 5. People were sitting out pamphlets and flyers out on a nearby table. There was a palpable tension in the air. The crew seemed skittish as they went about their work. He's late! Someone shouted all of a sudden. It was a man over in one corner of the lobby, railing angrily to nobody in particular. Why the hell hasn't that journalist shown up yet for the interview? Looked like he'd been waiting on Minoru then. I looked it up. It's unnecessary and can be considered confusing or rude, implying the person needs the money. Oh, interesting. Okay. That's good to know. What's his deal pulling this while we're this busy? Guess that's Shinosuke Orai. I genuinely love that jacket he's wearing. I want one. I'm not kidding. I would wear it all the time. I've been busy myself, Minoru said, keeping his composure. Trust me, I know how it goes. Huh? Who the hell are you? I'm the guy you've been waiting for. Mr. Orai. The man glared at him. It's Orai, he said. Stupid. Anyway, I'm Minorukawa. Sorry to keep you waiting. Though really, a short wait is a small price to pay for the chance to be interviewed by me. Well, I hope you appreciate how valuable my time is now that you're taking it, snapped Arai. Wow, someone sure has a high opinion of himself, Minorukawa replied. He marched up to Arai. Damn right I do! I'm Shinosuke Arai! The theater man got right up in Minorukawa's face. Like anyone even cares? A jolt of tension sparked between the two men. Around this time, there's a similar jolt of tension between two other people, Kenji Osawa and Mamoru Tanaka. Ah, yes. We'll fix that later. I beg your pardon, a woman interrupted, but Mr. Arai does have a schedule to keep. And who are you, Miss Sukazawa? I'm the producer. Well, listen up, Sue. I'm in the middle of an interview here. Please don't interrupt. What? That's how you conduct an interview? That's right! This is how I roll! Look, whatever, Arai growled. Let's just do this already. Fine by me. The two men sat down at opposite sides of a table in the lobby, but Sukuzawa spoke up again. Mr. Arai, don't forget the meeting you have after this. Yeah, handle that, would ya? Minorukawa let out a derisive snort. It's like you're holding court, he said. Do people actually hang around you with that kind of attitude? You have no right to judge my acting troupe. Minorukawa straightened up in his chair, mocking smile on his lips. Oh, so it's your acting troupe, huh? He said. Why not just play all the roles yourself? Heck, you could even be your own audience. How dare you? Arai rose to his feet and made to leave, but Sukuzawa herded him back down into his chair. Minorukawa continued as if he hadn't heard. Remember earlier he said this is his technique. He gets people really angry, and then he records what they say when they're angry. Just what is it that you do anyway? He asked. Arai raised an incredulous eyebrow. You don't know? No. Why should I? You came to an interview without knowing anything about who you were interviewing? Yep. That's it. Get out! Arai roared, pointed angrily toward the exit. How dare an unmannered clod like you come in here and waste my time! Hey, who's being unmannered now? I came all the way out here to hear your story, didn't I? Why don't you get out? Minorukawa pointed to the exit as well. Why the hell should I have to leave? Arai demanded. This is my house! House. Theater jargon for the theater itself, especially the main auditorium. Look, just get out! This time, both yelled and pointed toward the exit in unison. Oh, Minorukawa's storyline is still my favorite. Sukuzawa quickly interposed herself between them, forcing a smile. Gentlemen, please, calm down, she said. Then she turned to Minorukawa. You should be aware that Mr. Arai used to be a broadcast writer. Broadcast writer, someone who writes for television or radio programs. A great show depends not only on the actor's performances, but on the skills of the broadcast writer. He's responsible for a lot of big hits. You don't need to mention that, Arai grumbled. Nonetheless, Sukuzawa rattled off the names of several shows. Minorukawa did indeed recognize many of them. He murdered. So, how come you're running a failing theater now? Failing? Arai went red in the face. I'm not wrong, am I? You are absolutely the rudest person I've ever met. What would a rank amateur like yourself know about theater? Arai's face was dark with rage, but Minorukawa didn't back down. Listen, this has nothing to do with how well your theater is or isn't doing. He snapped. The television world wouldn't accept you, so in order to retain your pride as an entertainer, you started doing theater. Isn't that so? Don't act like you know anything. I've staked my entire life on the theater. It seemed as if Arai might throw a punch at any moment. Sure, a city theater might seem small time compared to TV, but you get a lot more of a response from it. Response? Oh, now that sounds interesting. Darn right, Arai exclaimed. You can see it from up on stage. The audience, you can see their faces. There was a passion in Arai's voice now. You can really feel it. When the audience is enjoying themselves, You can feel that energy. You can't get that from doing television. Thinking back on it now, my time spent working on TV. Let's see, what's a good analogy? It's like being handed a towel that's already damp. No, that's not right. Okay, so a better analogy would be... And without further preamble, Arai began talking about his tribulations back in his broadcast writer days. Minorikawa smiled inwardly. The interview ended promptly after 15 minutes, the time that had been promised. Both men emerged from it as if from a daze. Minorikawa found himself staring Arai in the face, shaking him by the hand. So, what kind of story did I just get? He asked, speaking half to himself. You heard about one man and his life. And I have to admit, it was a good interview. Thanks. You have my gratitude. With a satisfied smile. What is this? What just happened? What just happened? Oh, I love it. With a satisfied smile, Minorikawa closed his notebook. Right, glad to hear that then. Arai inclined his head, looking a bit bewildered. A flustered Tsukuzawa interrupted. Mr. Minorikawa, wasn't this interview for a piece about this performance? Did we just become best friends? Yes, that's what this feels like. That is what this feels like. Huh? Minorikawa blinked. It's just that you were only asking about Mr. Arai, not about the performance itself, Tsukuzawa said. Oh, I see what you mean. Actually, I came here for a piece I'm going to be writing called Where Are They Now? Washed Up Broadcast Writer Showcase. Washed up? Arai was red in the face all over again. You bastard! How dare you! Forget everything I just told you. I did not give you permission to use it in your magazine. You're too late. What? I've already heard your whole story. You should be grateful that I'll be writing a piece on it. You bastard! With a wild look in his eyes, Arai snatched up a hammer the stage crew had left nearby. Go ahead, hit me. Ouch. Yeah, I want to do B. Go ahead, hit me. Oh, I'll hit you, all right. Arai waved the hammer menacingly. But the attack came to a sudden halt as a ringtone startled him out of his fury. Hold on a moment, Minorikawa said brightly. I have to take this. We are no longer best friends, yes. He whipped out his cell phone. Hello, Minorikawa speaking. This is Osawa. Wow, he'd called back a lot sooner than Minorikawa had expected. Have your daughters come home then? No. Actually, there's a favor I'd like to ask you. A favor? Minorikawa thought back to his visit to the Osawa residence. The drawn curtains, the stricken look on Osawa's face. Minorikawa's instincts had sensed something significant going on. Apparently getting the full story wasn't going to come without some cost. A favor, huh? Is it something urgent? I'll pay whatever I have to. I just need you to look into something as quickly as possible. His voice had the telltale desperation of a man who'd been backed into a corner. All right, Minorikawa said. I can help you out for a little while. Osawa hurriedly explained what he was after. The request was a strange one. He wanted Minorikawa to look into a scandalous article that four-star general gossip had run about him in the past. What makes this so important? Do I have to say? I mean, you're asking me to look into something without explaining anything. He eyed Arai, lurking nearby with obvious irritation. Minorikawa would need to calm down the erstwhile broadcast writer, or else his interview really would be for naught. He decided to bluff both men at the same time. Let me just say one thing, he said into the phone. He made sure to speak loud and clear so that Arai would overhear. I want to tell the world this story. No, I need to tell it. If I don't feel that way about something, no amount of money in the world will get me to write an article on it. That's my pride as a writer at work. Minorikawa could see Arai's aura of rage fading as he listened. The theater man looked surprised. Whew. Meanwhile, Osawa had decided to open up a bit. All right, he said. I can't share all the details, but... Okay, he's in a talkative mood now. Good job, Minorikawa. See, this is going fine. The power balance of the entire world might be at stake here, Osawa continued. And I mean that quite literally. I can tell you more after you're done investigating. Wait, was he serious? How could the world's balance of power hinge on something into some alleged marital affair? It was so absurd that Minoru Kawa had to fight the urge to burst out laughing. A person would need to be out of his mind to believe a story like that. But Minoru Kawa wasn't the average person. And sometimes, the truth was so ridiculous it really was stranger than fiction or a visual novel. Osawa wasn't lying. Minoru Kawa's instincts told him that much. All right, he said. I'll check the editing department's notes from back then. Minoru Kawa felt his excitement building. Things were really getting interesting. For the moment, he nearly forgot Toyama and his troubles. When he ended the call, Arai approached him and extended his hand. Listen, your methods might be a little extreme, but I can tell you take pride in your work. Of course I do. I'm sorry for getting so worked up. I bet you'd read a fine article about me, so please, Mr. Minoru Kawa, let the world know about me and my half-lived life. Minoru Kawa took the offered hand and shook it. Leave it to me. Once I'm done with it, he won't just be some washed-up nobody anymore, Mr. Or-I. It's alright. Minoru Kawa grinned. Yeah. Minoru Kawa rushed out of the theater. He'd completed all the interviews that he could get done before 4 o'clock. Now he had an hour left to write it all to convince the folks from the loan company that the gossip could stay afloat. He let out a roar, psyching himself up for the final push. Is he going back to Lautrec? To be continued! Alright, we're gonna finish Osawa, and then we'll call it. Let's see. So Osawa's kept out, but we can fix that. Let's see. Marin does have a schedule. Fukuzawa in the middle of an interview. Okay. All right. Where's the jump point? And then sit down. Right. That will you. Wait. I didn't miss it, did I? The Kenji Osawa jump? Let's see. We're talking about tension, right? I don't know. Oh, this is quite a long jump here. Let's get out. Just get out. Or did I skip it? Let's see. Did I skip it? I might have gone past it. Let me see. Anyway, not wrong. Okay, so Minoru Kawa didn't back down. Let's see. Maybe. Interesting. No, I think I went past it. Let me go back real quick here. All right. Let me see. Anyone? Tension. There we go. Jolt of tension. Got it. I did go past it. There we go. All right. The phone rang. Right. But this is where Tanaka... Yeah. Tanaka's voice sounded coldly on Osawa's ear. The tension was electric. Osawa felt a surge of outrage. He wanted to scream, but he took a deep breath and managed to maintain control. Tanaka, where are you? Is Maria all right? Tanaka did not reply. The police told me. They said you were connected to the kidnapping. A soft chuckle came from the other end of the line. Ah, well, the police sure do know how to do their jobs. Tanaka's tone was unapologetic. He sounded nothing like the man Osawa thought he knew so well. Why would you do this? Money? Are you having money troubles? Money, Tanaka replied. I suppose that's part of it. Honestly, I doubt you'd understand. Do you have any idea what it's been like for me doing our research together? You're always the one who takes center stage. The fruits of our success are all yours, even though you couldn't have done any of it without me. The more he said, the more vitriol seethed into his words. Osawa's hand trembled as he clutched the phone. The taker can never understand how it feels to be taken from. You've hoarded so many things to yourself, so I'm taking some of them back. And with that, he hung up. Hey, Tanaka! Osawa dialed the number again, but Tanaka didn't pick up. Osawa racked his brain, thinking back on how Tanaka had been acting earlier that day. Had there been anything unusual? Any clue at all, no matter how small? If he could find some hint, maybe he'd be able to find Maria and Hitomi. That was it. I had been suspicious of Tanaka all along. So much so that she'd planted a bug on him hiding in a tie clip. Her suspicions must have been pretty strong. Wait. Osawa recalled what Kajiwara had said. But still, if she is that worried, giving a tie clip as a gift is a bit... The words had struck Osawa as odd when he first heard them. I had never given him a tie clip. His heart gave a heavy throb in his chest. It couldn't be. No, it was impossible. That article from 4-Star General Gossip crept back into his mind. The article had talked about a man I had dated before she'd married Osawa. The man's identity was never revealed. Could it have been Tanaka? You've hoarded so many things to yourself, so I'm taking some of them back. Tanaka's cold words took on a new depth of meaning. Osawa felt the foundations of his life begin to crumble. Were Tanaka and I accomplices in all this? No, wait, just calm down. He couldn't let himself jump to conclusions. He needed to be more level-headed, everything depended on it. If the two really were accomplices, why would I have planted a bug on Tanaka? What purpose would that serve? What could it mean? It was no use. Osawa couldn't think of how that made sense. First things first, he needed to establish what the relationship between I and Tanaka really was. Once he figured that out, he'd be able to get a better handle on the situation. Obviously, he couldn't just go and ask I directly. If she really were involved in all this, she certainly wouldn't tell him the truth. Sawa thought back to the business card he'd tossed into the trash. He didn't relish the thought of getting help from that scavenging hyena, but now was no time to be picky. If he wasn't able to leave the house, he needed someone else to do some investigating for him. The freelance writer, Minoru Minorikawa. He was Osawa's only hope. Oh, well, that's it? To be continued? Oh, wow. Wow. There we go. This person, everything in Shibuya is gonna die. Was it an accident or an attack? He's after Hitomi Osawa. How many hours ago was she infected? Okay. Oh, I did not realize it was gonna be that short. I thought there was more to it than that. Well, in that case, we might as well continue a little bit more. Let's see. Who should we have? Who should we continue with? Let's just keep going with Osawa. We'll do a little bit more Osawa. I've never truly trusted anyone, not on a fundamental level. Human beings are a type of organism that I can't get a true handle on through mere surface interactions. And the very fact that I have never trusted anyone else means that inevitably, no one else has ever trusted me. In the end, maybe the root of all my problems can be traced back to my heart. It is very anime. As he waited for Minoru Kawa to contact him, Osawa thought about his current crisis. Assuming Tanaka was behind the kidnapping, then he must have accomplices, and these criminals had mistakenly abducted Maria in their attempt to get at the antiviral drug that was in Itomi's blood. Maria and Itomi were fraternal twins, but they looked similar enough to be mistaken for identical twins. Still, Tanaka would never confuse the two. The mix-up must have been made by some criminal who didn't know Maria or Itomi personally. Insisting that Itomi bring the ransom to the train station was obviously their solution. It had set her up for a second abduction. But piecing together this much of the kidnapper's plan only raised a different question. Why had Tanaka shown him those emails from Itomi? Wouldn't the criminals want to keep information like that hidden? Good question. The more Osawa thought about things, the less they made sense. Just who are my true allies, and who are my foes? Mr. Osawa, a delivery has arrived for you. It was Kajiwara at the study door. Come in. Kajiwara stepped into the room and handed Osawa a letter-sized envelope. Osawa checked the label. Coming, the official Ayakamiki fan club membership application enclosed. Coming requires a 1,000 yen initiation fee and yearly dues of 3,000 yen. Membership grants several perks, including the opportunity to reserve concert tickets in advance of the general public. Osawa is fond of the members-only website content, which includes Ayakamiki's blog and exclusive videos. Nice. Right, he had requested the application the day he had gotten back from overseas. Would you mind opening that? Kajiwara asked apologetically. What for? I just like the check the contents of any packages you received today, sir. It's possible the kidnapper may try to make contact with you by mail. Osawa opened the envelope. Inside, he found the expected application, along with several postcards featuring pictures of the singer. Kajiwara peered pointedly at the postcard images. You must really like her, the detective said. And just what sort of music do you listen to, then? Osawa asked, staring at one of the postcards. It was a striking photo that showed off Kamiki's expressive eyes. Let me think. Mostly classical, I suppose. Osawa raised a quizzical eyebrow. You know, Kajiwara continued, like Mozart and Chopin and the like? Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, 1756 to 1791, Austrian-born music prodigy and classical composer. Famous works include The Marriage of Figaro, The Magic Flute, and Symphony No. 41, known as the Jupiter Symphony. Frédéric Francois Chopin, 1810 to 1849, composer and pianist of the early Romantic era. Famed as a national musician of Poland, left behind numerous solo piano works. Famous works include his Nocturne, Opus number 2, number 2, and his Piano Sonata number 2. He hummed a few bars. Can't say I've ever heard them. Are you serious? Kajiwara looked shocked. I'm familiar with the names, of course. I just never had much of an interest in music. Oh, that's such a shame. Would you care to listen to a piece now? You know what? No, thank you. Right now, Osawa preferred silence, or I suppose I may as well, now that he brought it up. Osawa was curious to know what sort of music Kajiwara enjoyed. Hey, wait! Reach out to people. I know what's going on here. Osawa reminds me of Captain Murphy in a C-Lab episode where Captain... Oh, yeah. What would Academy Award-winning actor Michael Caine do here? Yes, you're right. You're right. What would famous pop star Aya Kamiki do right now? I suppose I may as well. Now that he brought it up, Osawa was curious to know what sort of music Kajiwara enjoyed. The detective pulled a digital music player out of his pocket. See? I'm media literate. I got the hint about reaching out to others. Here you go. Osawa slipped the attached earbuds into his ears. He heard a flow of quiet strings that was soon joined by bold, dramatic horns. As the piece continued, it grew more profound and complex, and Osawa could feel his spirit calming. He took a deep breath and expelled it through his nostrils. I love Kajiwara looks so happy. He's like, oh, he's enjoying it. It felt as if the toxic gloom that had filled him was departing with the air. Before he knew it, nearly 10 minutes had passed. What do you think? It's quite nice. The theme of this piece is, Kajiwara paused for a moment and thought. Well, it's about how erudition can be boorishness. Erudition, accumulated knowledge. The term often connotes an advanced and or esoteric understanding. Displaying a moderate amount can impress others, but pompously flaunting it is bound to put them off. I'm extremely disappointed that Kajiwara isn't sitting next to him using... Yes! That would be so good! Yes! Thank you. If I hadn't met you, I'd never have discovered this piece. He spoke the words unthinkingly, with unaccustomed frankness. Was this the power of music, then? I'm very happy to hear that, sir. Ozawa gazed at one of the postcards as he let himself be drawn back into the music. Aya was scooping up handfuls of mystical blue sand. The grains dripped down from her fingertips. I feel like I could be in this photo here, Osawa muttered. Like I've lived my life letting so many things slip through my fingers. Kajiwara thought for a moment before responding. Oh, I love this. I think anyone who's worked hard to accomplish something and focused for a long time on that one thing is susceptible to those kinds of feelings. Accomplishing something means getting results. That's not where my problem is. Osawa removed the headphones and gave back the music player. You told me not to hide things from you, right? Kajiwara nodded silently. Then allow me to speak frankly. Leaning back heavily in his chair, Osawa took another deep, slow breath. I'm anxious. So anxious that it's almost crushing me. Given the circumstances, sir, that's completely understandable. No! Osawa spoke up before Kajiwara could finish. It's not that. It's not that at all. He shook his head vigorously. If the worst should happen to my daughter, how am I going to feel, I wonder? I'm not a man with a wide range of emotions. My heart is always cold somehow. And the truth is, I've wanted it to be that way. Which is why, if I do lose my daughter, my heart might remain unmoved. I may not even be able to feel a father's sorrow. That's what I'm anxious about. He felt his emotions twist inside him in a way that was utterly confusing. For perhaps the first time in his life, he realized how fickle a thing the human heart could be. It's all right, sir. Kajiwara flashed him a carefree smile. What's all right? People who really have cold hearts don't worry about that sort of thing. The detective held out his music player again. Here, I'd like you to have this. Please, give it another listen if you like. I think it might help you calm your nerves. Osawa took the offered device. He had dared to open up to Kajiwara just a little, and to his own surprise, he felt grateful for it. And how about one of these as well? Okay. The detective produced a banana from his pocket. Okay. This was getting a little too serious and heartfelt. We had to be goofy. I'm fine, thanks. Are you sure? No. 1,000 times no. We are not going to refuse Kajiwara here, am I right? I think it would be actually criminal to choose option A right now. Oh, all right. I guess I'll take it. Osawa spoke irritably, and his expression softened a little. You know, you've been getting on my nerves all day. Really? And here I thought I'd be doing something to soothe your spirits, Mr. Osawa. It's actually been a real long time since I've yelled at anyone quite so much. As the words left his lips, Osawa found himself thinking back to one particular rainy day. Maria had been in 5th grade at the time. Osawa was standing in his daughter's room. In his hands, he'd held the letter she left behind. He happened to glance out the window and saw Maria walking along, soaked from head to toe. In an instant, Osawa was consumed with rage. Maria had left a note. It read, "Dad, you only pay attention to Hitomi. You're too busy with work to play with me, so I'm running away from home." Struck by an impulse he didn't quite understand, he ran from the room, heading for the front door. Maria had just gotten back inside. Osawa met her silently in the entryway. Red strands of hair clung to the girl's forehead as she looked up at her father with a bitter glare. "You don't care what happens to me, do you?" Impulsively, he slapped her face. Maria's cheek turned red and tears welled up in her eyes. Osawa's anger transformed abruptly into guilt. He gazed down at the palm of his hand and saw a tiny spot of blood. He was shocked by the recognition of what he'd just done, and then he was afraid. Afraid that his daughter could bring such raw emotion out of him and make him do something so thoughtless. Something wrong, Mr. Osawa? Kajiwara was leaning in, looking concerned. Osawa came back into the moment with a start and realized he had buried his face in his hands. "No," he muttered, looking up. "Just getting angry. Yelling at people. I'm not good with that sort of thing. I don't like it." He picked up the music player and fidgeted with the earbuds as he spoke. "Well, getting angry and yelling at people, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's just human. It's human to do those kinds of things." I often said that he was cold and mechanical. Her sarcasm only underlined a fact he'd always lived with, that he didn't know how to conduct himself like a human being. "If you get angry, you show it," Kajiwara said. "If you get sad, you show it. It's human nature to let other people know how we're feeling, after all." "But what if doing that hurts the other person?" "That's when you apologize, sir." It occurred to Osawa that he'd never tried to tell anyone how he felt before. He'd never felt the need to. And yet right now, he suddenly felt that if his daughters were to appear before him, he might blurt out everything he'd ever left unsaid. It was a terrifying thought. "Darling," I opened the door and stepped into the room. "Those slippers. The detectives are asking for you. It seems there's been a development." "We'll be right there." Osawa and Kajiwara hurried out of the room. That was a really good scene. Wow. Wow. Like, wasn't silly or goofy. It was just very well done. It's a good character moment. I really like that. Before the news was shared with the Osawas, the members of the investigation team quietly briefed Detective Kajiwara. Osawa and I sat on the sofa on the far side of the room, watching. They could see Kajiwara go pale. He wiped the sweat from his forehead with a handkerchief several times. Bad news, Osawa thought. "Mr. Osawa, ma'am?" Kajiwara shuffled his way over to them at last. "We've just gotten word from headquarters." He hesitated ominously. Osawa braced himself. "Please, let's hear it." "First, about your daughter Hitomi." Kajiwara's expression was grim. "The body of a young man named Achienjo was discovered near Shibuya Station." What? The name meant nothing to Osawa. In a building not too far from the scene, the detective swallowed. Your daughter Hitomi was found dead. The world began to shake. Osawa staggered, reeling with sudden nauseating vertigo. No, it's not possible! After that, your daughter Maria. The words blurred together. He could no longer comprehend what he was hearing. Everything was wobbling, shuddering, distorting. Hitomi was dead? Hitomi? At those words, Osawa's whole world went dark, as if someone had just yanked the curtains closed. Bad end. Well, no kidding. Hitomi's death. Learning of Hitomi's death plunged Osawa into a pit of despair. This was the dark end of a chain of events that began with a simple, small decision. Someone else merely decided to abide by a little promise. Because of that, not only did Itachi and Hitomi meet with disaster, but Osawa lost his mind as well. Keeping a promise is a noble thing for sure, but right now, saving Achi, Hitomi, and Osawa is more important. Oh, man. Whoa. Okay. Well, tell you what. Let's go a little bit more, okay? Let's do Achi. Note to self, never keep any promises. Ever. Never. Never. And this is why you don't keep promises. Alright, that time I kept promises, that was like that time that, I don't know where I was going with that. I was just going into Family Guy for some reason. Peter, that's why you never keep promises. Kanan led them into a narrow back alley. The moment she stopped, Hitomi spoke up. Back alley. Members of SOS don't come by here very much. Word has it that this place around 10 years ago, one man beat the crap out of 7 street toughs in the blink of an eye all by himself. Over time, people have offered various theories that he was an assassin, that he was some foreign soldier, even that he might have been a ghost. And to this day, the urban legend lives on. Is that a reference to the previous game by this creator? 7 street toughs in the blink of an eye 10 years ago. I don't know. Why was my sister kidnapped? Before I answer that, there's something I need to tell you, Kanan said. Her tone was cold and sharp. I've come to Japan because I'm on a mission. I'm not at liberty to discuss all the details. All right. Hitomi gave a slight nod. To answer your question, Maria was kidnapped by mistake. What? Hitomi gasped. But why? Because this kidnapper isn't after Maria. They're after you. Who's after me? The mastermind behind this whole thing, Kanan said. Her tone was matter-of-fact. Whoa, hold on! Achi interrupted. What do they want Hitomi for? That I cannot say. Well, then who is this person? I can't tell you that either. You see, their sex, nationality, age, appearance, just about everything about them is shrouded in mystery. So there's honestly not much I can't tell you. Achi and Hitomi stood dumbfounded. What gives? Achi said. So you're saying all you know is that this person has some lame name like Mastermind? Hitomi turned to whisper in his ear. Mastermind isn't actually their name. Mastermind, originally used solely to refer to someone of remarkable intellect, the term first took on its criminal connotations in the 19th century. I'm here, Kanan spat, because I'm looking for revenge. Revenge? Hitomi asked. What for? This person also killed my friend. Kanan's inscrutable eyes flashed with a threatening gleam. Earlier you said that it was your fault my sister got kidnapped, Hitomi said. Kanan cast her eyes down. 4 days ago I managed to learn this criminal's plan, so I got in touch with Maria and told her that you were going to be attacked at that party. So that's why she told me not to go. Hitomi's voice trembled as she spoke. I gave Maria a small GPS tracker to give to you, but I guess you never got it. GPS, a global positioning system, a network of man-made satellites and ground-based control stations for providing geolocation data, alternately a device that makes use of said system. Modern cell phones and vehicle navigation systems use the GPS. Look at that, that's how it works. Did you know that? Did you know that? Now you do. Hitomi shook her head. I see. You must still have it then. Wait, so then my sister... The color drained from Hitomi's face as she understood. Yes, Kanan replied. Maria acted as a decoy and let herself get kidnapped in your stead. Hitomi swayed on her feet, shocked to the verge of fainting. Achi hurriedly reached out and caught her in his arms. But wait, he said to Kanan as he held Hitomi up. I don't get that either. Why didn't neither of them go? Then nobody would have been kidnapped, right? I mean, why'd her sister need to go and act as a decoy? Kanan let out a tiny sigh. If she hadn't gone to the party, kidnappers would have found just some other way to come after her. Ah, okay. Achi nodded. That sort of makes sense. I'm betting that Maria's plan was to use the GPS to lead me to these guys' hideout. She wanted to keep her sister safe and also figured she could help with me with my mission. It was a sort of scheme she'd think of. So, then can't you use the GPS to locate Hitomi's sister? Achi asked. Kanan shook her head. The GPS hasn't been powered on since she was kidnapped. It's possible the kidnappers took it from her. Wait, what? So after all that, even you can't find Maria? Achi slumped his shoulders in disappointment. I didn't say that. What do you mean? I got some intel from those syndicate members we met earlier. Apparently, sometime this morning they put Maria into a blue minivan, and since then they've been moving her all around Shibuya. Achi and Hitomi exchanged glances at the mention of the blue minivan. I mean, if a 14-year-old girl can't do it, it's impossible. Yeah. Unfortunately, Kanan continued, those operatives didn't know what the current situation was exactly. So we're back to the blue van then? Achi hurriedly explained what they'd been through so far. He mentioned how they'd first seen the blue van where the kidnappers had told Hitomi to find it. He also described how first the man with the cane and then a host of others had come after them. He got a little sidetracked here and there, but Kanan quietly listened to the end. I see, she muttered. So then, what do you think? Achi asked. Seems like we messed up their scheme a little, huh? Whatever the case, this man with the cane concerns me, Kanan said. I doubt he's working with the others. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's it. Some guy who isn't involved butts in and it throws off the whole plan. Kanan nodded in agreement. Because you and that man with the cane showed up, she said. They couldn't leave the minivan where it was. They took a sensible precaution. But then if you think about it, isn't this an opportunity for us to turn the tables on Mr. Mastermind? Kanan flashed him a faint speculative smile. I wonder about that. Aw, come on, Hachi grumbled. You're such a buzzkill. Any well-made plan has a good solid outline, which means that even after it has come to fruition, it's easy to trace things back to the planner. Is that how that works? By contrast, as you achieve your goals using accidental means, the outline becomes blurred, and it makes it harder for anyone outside looking in to grasp what the actual plan is. Achi swallowed hard as he took in the gravity of the situation. Well, but I mean, like, if there's an accident, people are going to for sure panic, plan or not. The corners of Kanan's lips curled up. Typically, I suppose, she said. But the people who are after Hitomi, not only have they put together a perfect plan, they've purposely left certain tiny holes in it. And so we can't even figure out who they are. The outline of the plan is always too blurry. Achi had no response to that. It was like he was hearing about some completely different world beyond the one he knew. If what Kanan had said was true, he'd been dealing with opponents that were on a level way above his own. In any event, since these people are after you, it would be best if you didn't wander around town anymore, Kanan told him. By now, Hitomi had recovered. She stood up, straight, and shook her head. No, I'm gonna find that blue minivan. My sister is in danger because of me. I can't abandon her just to save myself. Yeah, that's right. Achi patted Hitomi on the back. And if that's what you're gonna do, Then I don't care who we're up against. I'm with you in this until the end. Heck, it's too late for me to back out. That ship has already failed. Hitomi giggled despite herself. It's already sailed, Achi. Yeah! Kanan let out another sigh. All right, just make sure you're extra careful, she said. You can't count on getting bailed out of trouble like you have before. I understand, Hitomi said. Her eyes showed no trace of doubt or fear. Kanan gave her a slight nod, then quickly disappeared down the alleyway. Right then, Achi said. Want to get back to looking for the minivan? Then he stopped, remembering their previous efforts. If they just heedlessly wandered around town, they'd probably end up in the same trouble they'd encountered before. They'd get chased by the man with the cane, or by the kidnappers, and their search would be interrupted yet again. What should they do then? There had to be a better way. Achi happened to glance upward and caught sight of a surveillance camera installed on one of the streetlights. That's it! God, I can't believe I didn't think of it before! Hitomi peered at him, startled by his sudden shouting. We just need to use my old man's surveillance cameras and this'll be a breeze! Achi took Hitomi by the hand and started running. His destination? The security camera monitoring room in Dogenzaka. Achi didn't slow his pace until they were nearing their destination. Then he turned to look back at Hitomi. He was about to ask if she was doing all right when someone close at hand called out to him. Hey, mind if I ask you something? Have you ever heard of SOS? Oh no! Achi stopped in his tracks as a stranger stepped in front of him. The guy looked too old to be picking a fight with SOS. Achi regarded him with suspicion. Yeah, why do you ask? Do you happen to be a member yourself? No, not anymore. The man's eyes flashed with a gleam of recognition. Hey, look, it's another Aya Kamiki sign back there. Several of them. Did this guy know who he was? With a broad grin, the stranger took a step closer. Achi's heart sank. He couldn't afford to get caught up in some new hassle right now. Hitomi flashed him a worried look. Let's go. Achi and Hitomi dodged past the man and hurried onward. Even if the guy was harmless, they needed to be on their guard. There was no telling just how many thugs and assassins were looking for Hitomi. Rather than head directly for the surveillance building, Achi decided that he better make sure the stranger wasn't up to something. Hitomi followed as he slipped quickly into a back alley. There was no indication that the man was following them. What was that guy's deal? Hitomi asked. No idea, but he sure seemed kind of fishy. Doesn't look like he's coming after us, though. They took a quick detour through another seedy back alley. Then as they were starting to head toward their original destination, Achi felt a sudden searing pain in his back. Ugh! Glancing over his shoulder, he discovered that one of the foreign syndicate members had crept up and struck him from behind. Oh no, I've been stabbed. Ah! Hitomi screamed. Another man had suddenly appeared, grabbing her by the arms. Hitomi! Achi tried to reach out to her, but his arm was leaden. His body refused to obey his commands. As the attacker wrenched the knife from his back, Achi felt the blood gushing out of his wound. Wait, the knife's still in there, though. The two men started to drag Hitomi away. He tried to pursue them, but his legs faltered and couldn't find their footing. He was losing blood fast, so fast, he was starting to fade from consciousness. Achi could only watch impotently as Hitomi was dragged further and further away. Bad end. Number 43, stabbed by a kidnapper. Achi got stabbed, caught in a surprise attack by one of the kidnappers. He could only watch helplessly as Hitomi was taken away. If that weird guy hadn't tried to talk to him, Achi would never have taken the risk of wandering through the alleys. But how can you keep that guy from wanting to interview Achi? Gee, I wonder how. All right. That officially is where we're going to stop things for tonight. So, we got to save Achi. Next time, we're going to go Minorikawa, and we're going to save Achi from his horrid fate of being stabbed by the men in black. All right. See you next Saturday. Bye-bye.